Fantastic. Well, I need to say a massive congratulations and welcome back to Melody Grand Prix. How does it feel to be back?
It's
Alexandra?
Yeah, we're so happy. We love everything about Melody Grand Prix and Eurovision. So we kind of decided immediately right after we went off stage in 2019 that we want to go back because we love it so, so much. And when we made Monument, we felt like, okay, this could be the song for the competition to return again. So yeah, we're so happy to be back and super excited.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's good to be able to be on a stage with a full production. It's been so long. It seems like forever. When we see, we have we're publishing these documentary clips every Wednesday now for the last 4 weeks. And when I see those clips like a year or 2 years ago, it feels like another time when we were actually able to be on a big stage with a lot of people hugging. And so, yeah, it's really good to be back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, looking back at like Tel Aviv and the last Eurovision, it seemed so real, quite surreal to think that all these people were gathered together and, you know, we had no idea what was going to face us in 2020. But Eurovision will kind of survive regardless.
Definitely.
So, my next question for you guys is, how do you cope with nerves in terms of these large-scale performances like Melody Grand Prix, like Eurovision? Do you have kind of strategies or kind of rituals that you go through as a group?
Whiskey. No,
Oh.
no, but I think we've like for me, even though I've done it quite some time now, I still feel this the slight anxiety when going on stage, and especially now because it's been a while. But I think like the good thing when we're three, we can gather strength from each other, and we can kind of focus together, because that's all the most important thing is just to focus on, okay, we love doing this and we know how to do it. We've done it so many times, and just like try to gather the strength from within and just like feel the energy of people that we can't see. And yeah.
We actually have a ritual that we've done before every concert, where we stand in a circle, the three of us, and we go like, "Oh, Chayatan Choka," and that are the Sami words that we say in Spirit in the Sky. Yeah. So we've done that before any concert.
And this is like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've done it in every concert up until now. So
the Spirit in the Sky's impact lives on, clearly. Thinking back to Spirit in the Sky, obviously that was such a big moment across all of the world, and I think it even kind of connected with fans that weren't Eurovision fans. It just kind of transcended the whole contest. And for a sort of debut single as well, it must be quite remarkable to think back and, you know, look at the impact that that's had.
Yeah, definitely. I think none of us knew what was going to happen, because we were a new band. This was our first song, and we had no idea about the reaction, because we felt that we were kind of gambling with what we did, because it was the first time somebody had mixed Sami yoik with this quite accessible or camp pop, that somebody would say, and that's never been done before. And so first of all, we were kind of we didn't know if the mainstream audience would like it, or if the traditional Sami musicians would think this is really not cool. So, and especially for Fred, but Fred always said that when it comes to Sami yoik and his language, like yoik is always in development, and if you want to preserve something, you have to follow how the culture develops or evolves. If not, it will kind of just be some kind of rarity that you'll find in a museum. So, and luckily, quite a lot of people, or actually most Sami musicians felt the same, that okay, this is something different, but we like it. It's still honoring the culture and the traditions, but still is something very different from what's done before. And to see that our mix of Sami yoik, the Nordic melodies, and this very, like I would say, a bit Schlager inspired pop sound, that got such a big audience, both in Norway and also in Europe and the rest of the world. That was a bit surprising, but also very, very, very fun.
Fantastic. And obviously the Spirit in the Sky led to your debut album, Octa. And you released, was it 6 singles from that? And I was listening to it today again, and I was thinking, there's so many tracks on there where I feel like they could have had the singles treatment, and 6 is fantastic. But are there any that you feel you would have loved to kind of give the push as singles from the album that maybe never got that time to shine?
I think probably Black Leather is like a song that I feel kind of shows a different side of us. We're a bit more edgy, but also very honest. And with the music video and everything, I feel like it kind of drowned in the pandemic and everything, because we released it, I think, a week before we went in lockdown.
It's just like, yeah, the worst video and song to release when everything, you're about to go into social distancing, and the video where like 150 people just like all tangled in. It was like the worst timing ever.
Yeah, but I feel like that song is like a grower. I think that maybe it's gonna have its time maybe a bit later. I hope so.
Yeah, I think so as well. I definitely agree that that song, it deserved another another time. But you never know.
I was laughing actually.
Really.
Funny you mentioned that. I was on Twitter today, and I saw someone had quoted the line, "You came in here looking like a snack," and I was like, that line just kind of is so great. So no, I think you're right. It is such a fantastic song, and it is a real sort of standout from the album. I'd also say Bed with the Wolf and Take Me Home are really just such good tracks too. So kind of going back to Tel Aviv in 2019, can you explain some of the feelings that you were experiencing when the results were coming in? Because I don't think anyone other than a sort of Eurovision act can really know what that feels like.
I feel like it was a roller coaster that night, because we were so happy with our performance, and we were just so energized, and we felt so loved, feeling the energy from the audience. So when we got back in the green room, we were like, okay, we had fun, and this was amazing. And then like the jury votes came, and we were like, okay, well, it's not a surprise that the jury doesn't like us, since the same thing kind of happened in Norway. But then when the audience votes came, and the entire arena were just like screaming, and we cried, and that kind of made us feel that we achieved something big, bigger than ourselves. Like, we had spent so many time traveling, meeting new people, performing our song to people all over Europe, and to see that maybe affected what happened that night, that was just so beautiful. And to see that, okay, we have an audience out there. Now we can go on tour, we can have concerts. So yeah, we were just happy. And I mean, my cheek hurts or hurted when I went to bed that night, because I had smiled so much. Yeah, it was amazing.
I think is that knowing that your song has connected with audiences around Europe, millions and millions of people, it must be a real special moment. And I'm sure Monument will do the same. And I've really got my fingers crossed that you are victorious in MGP. Obviously, you've just released the video for the project last week, and it's spectacular. Like, what an advert to visit Norway. And it's kind of cool that you've done that during a pandemic, because we can. But,
well, it opens up to, like, we trust the vaccine, so in hopefully summertime already, or at least autumn. And this was filmed in the first week of October. And I would say, if you'd ever go to Norway and really see the beautiful landscape, to go in fall, like September, beginning of October, it's brilliant. So
And
crossing fingers.
yeah, fingers crossed. In terms of the video, it's quite it really does kind of capture the sort of spectacular nature of the Norwegian landscape. Was it quite an extreme thing to film? Were the conditions quite extreme, or was it quite pleasant?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, first of all, we got to go to places that we've never been as a band, first of all. And actually up north, it was freezing. I mean, Fred, he had this reindeer coat that they use that keeps you like super warm. He was like sweating. And me and Tom, I had a cape, so I was okay. It was made of wool, but you had like a leather jacket and like this super thin blue thing underneath, and you were like, oh, okay, we gotta move.
Yeah, because
we gotta
that's
move
a problem.
now.
We didn't like everything. We didn't think too well through, because like
No,
the
we did
idea
not.
the idea of the video that we start in different places in Norway. I'm starting all south. That's the where the lighthouse is. That's the southern tip of Norway, and Fred starts all up north, and then Alexandra starts to the on the Western Cape. And the idea was that we meet and then meet up at Fred. And of course, then you need to wear the same the same costumes. And then of course it was perfect for down south in Kristiansand, where it was like, I don't know, like 5-10 degrees. But when it was only 10 degrees minus or something like that in KEiiNO, even though the wind made it feel like it was 30 below zero. And it was really, but like, nevertheless, we've been so lucky with the weather, because this wasn't the first week of October. It's really a week too late in order to do outdoor filming, because you never know with the weather. And the weather forecast changed all the time, so we had to rearrange where we were going. First of all, we had to start 1.5 days earlier, because like, oh no, like it's gonna snow at the mountain, so we have to hurry.
We rewrote like 3 times, I think. I was driving and you were sitting there like, okay, now let's go there instead. Okay, we gotta fix this. It was crazy. And I think I calculated that overall we spent like maybe over 35 hours in a car in like a week
4 days
altogether, I think.
But then we flew up north to do the snowy part. But yeah, the conditions were definitely difficult, especially because we had to hike 7 hours from the car up to the mountain where we're ending the video. It's actually 1,548 meters below sea level. And of course we didn't have any crew, so like we did everything by ourselves, so carrying like 10 to 15 kilo rucksack with all the gear and all the costumes, makeup, etc. And but that's also like, we went up when it was raining, it was cold, but we knew, like, the weather forecast said, yeah, it's gonna be okay in the like afternoon. So that's why and it was like, when we first came up there, the weather was good. However, we didn't because we wanted to have this beautiful light as well towards the end. It started like, we had to really rush down in order to make it before it started snowing. And the next day it actually started snowing. So it was like, this was the last day we could have done it.
Yeah.
and people think it's a glamorous job.
Yeah, not at all.
Or I did not know what kind of adventure this was going to be. But it was an amazing experience, and we're still best friends even after a trip like that. So yeah, we can go through anything together.
And obviously that kind of leads quite nicely onto some of the themes and the message behind Monument. Are you able to kind of elaborate on the kind of inspiration behind the track?
I think, it all started when Fred asked the question, "What's left of us when we're not here anymore? What's like, what traces do we leave behind?" And that inspired Alex, the main lyricist in our group, to write about that. All the monumental things in your life. It could be the relationships that you will remember, the moments that you will always remember, and also the people that actually makes an impact, the people you meet, and to write a song about that. And I think it's also something that Fred mentions in his Sami lyrics, where at one place it says, all we see is created by the past. All you hear is the echo of yesterday. And it goes like, yeah, that everything you see now is here because of what other people have done, or what nature has. So it's kind of looking back, and also trying to it's one of our deepest lyrics so far. But we felt it was maybe it was the pandemic, maybe it was like us sitting at home, like thinking quite a lot about life and the people around us, and what's important when you don't have the things that you usually have.
Yeah, I think it has been a sort of great time for reflection, and maybe you don't realize it at the time, but when you are spending a lot of time, maybe yourself or just with a small group of people, it does kind of encourage you to feel that. So I think it's the kind of perfect time for that song. Obviously, you've performed in the first semi-final, and you have to wait all this time to the final. How are you going to change it up, or are you just kind of going to go with what worked the first time?
I think the benefit of being in the first semifinal is that we've been able to see the show, like the performance, and to see what we like and what we don't like, and maybe make some adjustments. I love surprises, so I don't want to spill too much, but I suggest that everyone turn on their TV on the 20th to see something awesome. That's all I can say.
I think we had one. Okay. We had one suggestion that Fred would only be in body painting, but I think he refused to do that. So that's
painted by us live on TV.
I mean, surely that would win it for you.
Yeah, it's the new take on this, like the artist making this sand painting or whatever. We actually just painting Fred while.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a good idea.
No, definitely it will be improvement. But I think we did a lot of. We're happy with the first run through, but still, it was also the first semi-final for NRK, and in a new studio, so they also felt that okay, it's going to be improvement on a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah,
fantastic. Obviously, I don't want to say competition, because I know it's not a sort of. It doesn't feel like competition, but are there any other standouts for you guys that you've really kind of enjoyed watching so far?
I mean, I like that it's so many different genres represented, and so many different like ages and how people look, and yeah, I feel like the final is gonna be very
cool. I think there's some really, really good shows and some really good songs this year, and some great vocalists like Kim. His voice is amazing from the last they qualified the last semi-final, and also I think Rayleigh's show is fun to watch. She's really, really amazing dancer and singer, and I kind of hope that Big Daddy Karsten will get the wild card, because I love his performance, and he's such a great guy. So crossing fingers for him.
Me too.
Yeah, it was so feel good.
Yeah.
Do you think that potentially Monument could be the lead single of KEiiNO's second album, or are we thinking too far ahead here?
Well, definitely, it's definitely the first one. I think right now, I'm pretty sure, or quite definite, that we're not going to just release a couple of singles and then do a full album. We're definitely going to release song by song, and maybe save a few songs that hasn't been released as singles before in the album. But I think that's especially now when we want to give our fans little treats every now and then, especially when you can't do so much like outside or whatever. So it's for us to be able to shine some light in all the different lives. That's important for us, and also for us to keep going, to remember what we're doing and why we do it, because we love it.
Fantastic. And just to wrap up, final question, I would love to hear both of your all-time kind of favorite Eurovision acts.
I think we can agree on that one.
Alexandra?
You'll fall.
Yeah, we agree. I think we need to find a new one, because but that is like,
you can find an older one, but that's I don't know anymore.
I think maybe from last year, was there anyone that really stood out from 2020's group of finalists who obviously sadly never got to perform, as we know it?
Oh, I think Dadi last year was so cool.
I love the group as well. I like their new song as well. So they're definitely it's definitely different. I think it's really progressive discotheque. I think more On Fire was more in your face for the mainstream audience. However, personally, I like the new song better. But you never know what the audience will say.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time, and it's been so lovely to talk to you. And I wish you the best of luck for the final.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.